Chapter 171, Earth Dragon Lists Number 1. With the death of Shui Yun, this unprecedented battle was finally over. Jian Wushuang had not delivered the killing blow, but he had pushed Shui Yun over the edge. Left with no other options, Shui Yun had resorted to taking the Scarlet Elixir so that he could take Jian Wushuang down with him. So it could be said that Jian Wushuang was responsible for Shui Yun's death. With Shui Yun's passing, the Spirit Beast core in his possession was liberated, drawing covetous looks from the experts of Cloud Mountains who did not have a core. Immediately, a fierce war began. Of course, this war had nothing to do with Jian Wushuang. Soon, the 7-day deadline was around the corner. At high noon, the experts of Gold Core emerged from the Cloud Mountains. Those experts who had obtained cores handed them over to the Golden Armored General, while those who had not could only stand aside and hide their disappointment. They had tried to win a core, but their skills had been found lacking. Among the powerful sects, Dragon Palace emerged as the biggest winner in the selection battle. The Dragon Palace had sent 10 gold core masters to participate in the selection battle. Only 5 had survived, with 4 of the survivors obtaining the core. They were Jian Wushuang, Bailey Chen, Yang Zixuan, and Su Ru. Dragon Palace had accomplished a rare feat by winning 4 out of 15 available spots to compete at the Easternmost hunting. The 15 masters who had obtained the cores and passed the selection battle stood at the center of the arena under the gaze of the warriors gathered there. Whoosh! 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 Many figures descended from the upper void. These were the powerhouses from peak of the Yin-Yang Void Realm who had watched the battle from the void. She led the descent, followed closely by Palace Master White and Black, as well as others. Clothed handsomely in imperial robe and emanating an air of benevolence, Shi's eyes swept over the 15 warriors. The 15 warriors, including Jian Wushuang, were taken aback. This has to be the Qianzong Dynasty Emperor? His strength is immense. Jian Wushuang thought. He had seen many powerhouses from the Yang Void Realm, including Palace Masters Black and White, as well as the Golden Armored General who had killed Shui Yun. While they were strong, he only felt slightly threatened by them. But this imperial-robed man. Just a glance from him gave Jian Wushuang an urge to surrender. This thought was transient but struck terror in Jian Wushuang's heart. Congratulations for passing the selection battle. In 2 months, you will represent the Qianzong dynasty in the Easternmost hunting, a major event for the entire northwestern region. She said with a clear voice. In the next 2 months, you'll have to practice hard to improve your skills and become stronger. I hope you give even more stunning performances at the Easternmost hunting. She paused and turned his attention to the Yin-Yang Void Realm experts behind him. I want to make things clear. During these 2 months, I will not tolerate any attack on these warriors. Otherwise. Shi's words seemed to be directed at Grey Robe. Grey Robe's face fell. Shi's meaning was clear. This was a warning to Blood Feather Tower to stay away from Jian Wushuang in the next 2 months. Everyone knew that She had high hopes for an outstanding performance by Jian Wushuang at the Easternmost hunting. Grey Robe had to take the warning seriously. Although the Blood Feather Tower had special status, it dared not disobey the wishes of the Qianzong dynasty monarch. You're all dismissed, said Shi. The Yin-Yang Void Realm powerhouses trickled out of the arena, and the 15 top warriors who would be participating in the Easternmost hunting returned to their homes. It was over. The fierce selection battle that had lasted for 7 days finally came to an end. The warriors who had waited for 7 days at Cloud Mountain's edge also left. As the warriors left, they discussed the battle between Jian Wushuang and Shui Yun. That battle had been shocking to all spectators. This battle would be written in the Millennium Chronicle. This battle would also be praised by all the experts of the Qianzong dynasty. The end of a legend marked the beginning of another. Jian Wushuang was now legendary among Gold Core warriors in the Qianzong dynasty. A new legend. Returning to Dragon Palace. There was an uproar in Dragon Palace when the disciples learned that Jian Wushuang had defeated and killed Shui Yun in the selection battle. On the following day, Qianzong dynasty's authoritative earthly dragon list was updated. Many ranked experts had fallen in the selection battle, and previously unknown experts had emerged winners. Naturally, there were many changes in the earthly dragon list. Now, The highest-ranked person on the Earthly Dragon list was Jian Wushuang. Earthly Dragon list's number 1, Dragon Palace disciple, Jian Wushuang. Ha, the third brother. It's awesome that you're first on the Earthly Dragon list. The 4 brothers were gathered at the manor. Wang Yuan laughed heartily while holding his recently acquired, updated Earthly Dragon list. Beside him, Jian Wushuang, Yang Zixuan and Su Ru smiled. As expected, Yang Zixuan said calmly. Jian Wushuang's previous ranking at the 10th spot on the list had raised doubts from the Golden Pill realm experts. But his current ranking at the top would not surprise anyone. His showing at the selection battle had demonstrated his real strength and achievements, silencing all naysayers. Jian Wushuang had defeated and killed Shui Yun, who had been ranked first on the Earthly Dragon list. Many warriors had witnessed this moment and were convinced of Jian Wushuang's prowess. His rank at the top of the list could not be disputed. It was perfectly justifiable. He was at the top of the Earthly Dragon list. There really are many changes on the new Earthly Dragon list, Jian Wushuang said, looking at the new list. The rank on the Earthly Dragon list was as follows. Number 1, Jian Wushuang, a disciple of the Dragon Palace. Number 2, Bailey Chen, a disciple of the Dragon Palace. Number 3, Mu Yingying, from the Mu clan. Number 4, Feng Yuqian, from the Gladiator Arena. Number 5, Yang Zixuan, a disciple of the Dragon Palace. Number 6, Peng Wudao, solitary expert. Number 10, Su Ru, a disciple of the Dragon Palace. Chapter 172, Startling News. Second brother, little sister. Third brother did well, but both of you had excellent performances too and ranked in the top 10. Wang Yuan was effusive in his praise. Both Yang Zixuan and Su Ru had been outstanding in the selection battle and gained recognition for the strength they exhibited during the event. Yang Zixuan had single-handedly killed Ling Shuai, who ranked 8th in the previous Earthly Dragon list. Yang Zixuan had defeated him so effortlessly that no one doubted that he deserved his 5th rank on the Earthly Dragon list. Su Ru's performance in the selection battle had been even more astounding. Su Ru had deflected Shui Yun's blade attack and forced Shui Yun to retreat. Without Su Ru's interference, Jian Wushuang might not have been able to defeat Shui Yun. This made Su Ru's strength clear to all who were present. While Su Ru had amply demonstrated her skills in defensive methods, her limited ability with attack methods resulted in her merely replacing Jian Wushuang's old rank at the 10th place on the list. Our little sister and I are merely supporting players in the Earthly Dragon list. We can't compare our strength to the third brother who ranks first. Yang Zixuan said. My sentiments exactly. Su Ru nodded earnestly. Then you two should work harder in the next 2 months. The easternmost hunting will be tougher than the selection battle you just experienced, and the opponents you face will also be different. Wang Yuan cautioned. That's right. The easternmost hunting is different from the selection battle. We may be the top experts in the Qianzong dynasty, but that may not be the case in the easternmost hunting. Jian Wushuang felt slightly pressured. After all, Qianzong dynasty was a small empire. The 12 northwestern dynasties would be participating in the easternmost hunting. 6 of these were middle-sized dynasties and 2 were large empires. These middle-sized and large empires would have territorial areas and warrior numbers far surpassing that of Qianzong dynasty. A small empire like Qianzong dynasty had been able to produce many experts, and even an exceptional talent like Shui Yun. That meant that larger empires would have many talents of their own. I don't know about other dynasties, but I'm familiar with the Cosmos Empire, one of the 2 large empires. Yang Zixuan said. The Cosmos Empire has more talents than Qianzong dynasty and their skills are superior to ours. Cosmos Empire has its own list of top gold core experts. Any of the top 50 warriors on that list would easily rank in the top 10 or even in the top 5 on the Earthly Dragon list. Oh. Jian Wushuang responded, eyebrows raised. Anyone in the top 50 on Cosmos Empire's list could make it to the top 10 on the Earthly Dragon list? Maybe even top 5? Second brother, why do you know so much about Cosmos Empire? Jian Wushuang asked, frowning. Yang Zixuan's face darkened and didn't answer. Jian Wushuang decided not to press him. Anyway, we'll do our best. Jian Wushuang said. Yeah. Yang Zixuan and Su Ru also nodded. The four brothers were drinking and chatting in a majestic manner in the Dragon Palace. Palace masters Black and White were playing chess casually. Suddenly the door was pushed open and a purple-robed servant entered. Your Excellencies, Golden Dragon Palace sent a classified letter. The purple-robed servant handed them the letter. Classified? Palace Master White and Black were surprised. Palace Master White took the letter and dismissed the servant with a wave of his hand. The servant departed immediately and closed the door after him. Still seated in front of the chessboard, Palace Master White opened the classified letter and read it together with Palace Master Black. Their faces turned grave after reading the contents of the letter. The Easternmost hunting will be held in 2 months, so he should focus on improving his strength to prepare for it. This is an unexpected turn of events. Palace Master White frowned and turned to Palace Master Black. What do you think? Should we tell him right now or keep it a secret until the end of the Easternmost hunting? Palace Master Black mulled it over and said, just tell him. Let him make the decision. I'll let him know since I'm closer to him. Palace Master White rose from his seat and left. Soon, Palace Master White arrived at the manor where Jian Wushuang and his friends were drinking together. Jian Wushuang. Palace Master White appeared. Palace Master White. The four of them stood up immediately. Follow me, I have something to tell you, said Palace Master White. Jian Wushuang nodded and followed Palace Master White to a quiet open field. This is a classified letter from Golden Dragon Palace. Take a look. Palace Master White handed the letter to Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang was puzzled, but his eyes widened when he opened the letter and saw its contents. Only a short paragraph was written in the letter. We have found out that Jian Nantian has been detained at Qiannan Province, 9 Ring Mountain. It was a short paragraph, but it was enough to agitate Jian Wushuang. That's where my father has been. My father is being held at 9 Ring Mountain. Jian Wushuang's face reddened with fury and he emanated an aura of uncontained rage. Jian Wushuang, keep your cool. Palace Master White shouted. But Jian Wushuang didn't seem to be listening. Keep calm. That was his father. Although he hadn't seen his father for many years, scenes of his father teaching him swordplay when he was a child remained deeply etched in his mind. When his father had gone missing, Jian Wushuang had tried all means to find him but had failed as his spiritual power was lacking at the time. He could only fulfill his father's wishes that he takes charge of Sword Pavilion, and he had been striving to do just that since then. Not long ago, he had been surprised to learn from his aunt that his father was still alive. Now that he finally knew where his father was, how could he not be worked up? Jian Wushuang, calm down first. Seeing Jian Wushuang's state, Palace Master White shouted again with a special force, causing Jian Wushuang to shudder and calm down immediately. Palace Master White. Jian Wushuang could not help looking at Palace Master White. I came to you immediately after receiving this classified letter. Now that you know where your father is, I know it's difficult for you to calm down and that you'd want to figure out how to rescue your father. Palace Master White said solemnly. I understand all these things. However, before rescuing your father, you should have a clear understanding of the opponent's strength. Take action with certainty. You wouldn't want to fail in your rescue attempt and perhaps even lose your life. Chapter 173, Looking for Help. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and tried to calm down. The Palace Master is right. I must save my father, but not in a reckless way. Jian Wushuang said. It's good that you've calmed down, Palace Master White said, nodding. Your father remains in custody in 9 Ring Mountain where there is a strong sect, called 9 Emperors Sect. The 9 Emperors Sect? Jian Wushuang asked and raised his eyebrows. Since your father is imprisoned in the 9 Ring Mountain, he must be in the custody of the 9 Emperors Sect. Palace Master White said solemnly. I checked your background and know that you've only dealt with Qianyuan Sword Sect, one of the 5 grand sects in Qianyang Province. There are indeed several superiors of the Yin Void Realm in the Qianyuan Sword Sect, but their skills are all at average level. In Qianzong Dynasty, Qianyuan Sword Sect can only be considered a first-rate sect. 9 Emperors Sect is much more powerful and despotic than Qianyuan Sword Sect, and is considered a top sect, even for the whole Qianzhong dynasty. Jian Wushuang looked grave, thinking that obviously, the strength of the top sect in Qianzhong dynasty could never be poor. So it seemed like an insurmountable task to save his father from the clutches of the Nine Emperors sect, where he was in custody. As far as I know, there are a total of 8 experts of Yin Void Realm in the Nine Emperors sect, Palace Master White continued, including 3 at initial Yin Void Realm, 2 at Profound, 2 at Exceptional and 1 Upper Elder, who has been cultivated in seclusion in the Nine Emperors sect and has already reached peak of Yin Void Realm. On hearing this, Jian Wushuang frowned even more. A good 8 experts of Yin Void, all with powerful strength. At his present strength level, he could pay little attention to the 3 at initial Yin Void Realm. He could even defeat or kill those at profound Yin Void Realm with ease. However, Jian Wushuang did not have the confidence to defeat the expert of exceptional Yin Void Realm. As for the peak of the Yin Void Realm, Jian Wushuang would only stand a chance against him if he used the soul-devouring secret skill. In Nine Emperors sect, there were already 2 powerhouse at fulfillment, and on top of that, the Upper Elder who had reached peak of the Yin Void Realm after his cultivation in seclusion. With Jian Wushuang's present strength, it was totally a daydream for him to save his father alone. Apart from the 8 experts of the Yin Void Realm that we know of, the fact that the Blood Feather Tower imprisons your father under the custody of the Nine Emperors sect proves that there is a more complicated relationship between them. It's possible that the Nine Emperors sect has already yielded to the Blood Feather Tower. So there may be some killers of Blood Feather Tower's people in the Nine Emperors sect, said Palace Master White. Yes, it is possible. Jian Wushuang nodded. He knew well that Blood Feather Tower regarded his father as a highly valuable prisoner. In order to arrest his father, the Blood Feather Tower had risked the extermination of one of the greatest clans, Ji Clan. So it was not surprising that the Blood Feather Tower would dispatch reliable experts to guard such an important person. Jian Wushuang asked, "Are there any experts of Yang Void Realm in the Nine Emperors sect?" Yang Void Realm? Palace Master White shook her head and said, "There are not many experts at the level of Yang Void Realm in the entire Qianzhong dynasty. Yang Void Realm experts are highly valued by all sects. Although the Blood Feather Tower has staggering strength, they won't expend a Yang Void Realm powerhouse just to guard a person, even if the person is extremely important." That's good. At least, there is a little hope left for me. Jian Wushuang nodded to himself. It would be even more difficult to save his father if he was being guarded by a Yang Void Realm powerhouse. Although he knew well that there was a large number of powerhouses in the Nine Emperors sect and even in the Blood Feather Tower, there was still some hope of him being able to save his father. Jian Wushuang, there is something you must know first. Palace Master White looked at Jian Wushuang and said seriously, "The Dragon Palace has reached an armistice with the Blood Feather Tower, so it is absolutely unreasonable for us to fight them. If you go to rescue your father, the experts of the Dragon Palace would not be able to offer help." I understand. Jian Wushuang nodded. He had not intended to ask the Dragon Palace experts for help. Though we can't help, the Golden Dragon Palace can do that, Palace Master White said. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows and asked, "The Golden Dragon Palace?" There are many powerhouses in the Golden Dragon Palace. Since the Golden Dragon guards and ambassadors are not strictly restrained, their intentions and actions have no bearing on Dragon Palace. So, perhaps I can help you contact some reliable ambassadors and get their support, said Palace Master White with a smile. Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up immediately. "Thank you so much, Your Excellency Palace Master," Jian Wushuang said with appreciation. "Ha ha, take it easy. I will personally select the Golden Dragon ambassadors who won't let you down. I promise," said Palace Master White with a smile. "Thank you so much." Jian Wushuang expressed his gratitude again. Jian Wushuang went back to the manor, but this time, he didn't smile and wore a serious expression. "Third brother, what happened?" The 3 people, including Wang Yuan, who had drunk with Jian Wushuang in the manor, noticed the change in his facial expression. "Big brother, second brother, and little sister, I need your help," Jian Wushuang said without preamble. "We're brothers. Just tell us," Wang Yuan said frankly and readily. Yang Zixuan and Su Ru looked at Jian Wushuang. They knew Jian Wushuang well and were aware that he who would never ask for help unless it was something important. "I want to rescue my father," said Jian Wushuang. "What?" Wang Yuan and the other 2 immediately asked. eyes widened. To rescue his father? Jian Wushuang gave his brothers and sister a succinct explanation of the situation, telling them about the location where his father was held and the strength of the Nine Emperors sect. He trusted his brothers and sister absolutely, and did not withhold any information from them. The Nine Emperors sect has so many experts that it is impossible for us to rescue anyone by ourselves. Yang Zixuan said in a low voice. Of course, it won't be possible with just the four of us. I have requested Palace Master White to help me invite several reliable and strong Golden Dragon ambassadors to join the rescue mission, said Jian Wushuang. The Golden Dragon messengers? Not bad. Yang Zixuan nodded and said, I will do you a favor. Third brother, Su Ru looked at Jian Wushuang and said, you almost lost your life to win me the Black Water Lotus. I'll definitely give you any help you need. Smiling at Su Ru, Jian Wushuang then looked at Wang Yuan. Hey, don't look at me. Wang Yuan waved his hands. You three rank within the top 10 on the Earthly Dragon list and are strong enough to kill any normal experts of the Yin Void Realm, so you're skilled enough for the rescue. As for me, I just reached the initial Gold Core Realm. My strength is ordinary and any powerhouse from the Nine Emperors sect could kill me easily. It seems that I'd be courting death if I go. Jian Wushuang gave Wang Yuan a look but held his tongue. Not long after inviting Yang Zixuan and Su Ru for the rescue mission, they heard from Palace Master White. Chapter 174. 7 Great Golden Dragon Ambassadors. Outside the Imperial Palace, in the Cloud Mountains, a fierce selection battle had just taken place, leaving devastation everywhere. At that moment, 7 strong figures with overwhelming auras stood at the summit of one of the lofty giant mountains, waiting silently. Suddenly, 3 dark spots appeared on the horizon and swept towards the figures. Here they come. The 7 figures lifted their heads. As the dark points grew closer, it became apparent that there were 3 griffins on which Jian Wushuang, Yang Zixuan, and Su Ru rode. When they got close to the mountain summit, they jumped off the griffins. Ha ha! Wushuang! A cool and charismatic middle-aged man welcomed Jian Wushuang with a smile. Your Excellency Yi? Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. He had known that there would be experts invited by Palace Master White and that they would be waiting for him here, but he had not known who they would be. He recognized the middle-aged man as Yi Rufeng, whom he had previously dealt with several times. It was Yi Rufeng who had sent him to the Dragon Palace. Wushuang, we meet again. With a smile, Yi Rufeng said, about 2 years have passed since our last meeting. As for that moment, I have to thank you again. Without you, I'm afraid my daughter would have been killed. Back then, Jian Wushuang had run into Yi Rufeng while on assignment by the Dragon Palace. Jian Wushuang had helped Yi Rufeng take care of his daughter, Yi Mai, by helping her complete the task of catching the 2-claw-marked Golden Dragon Guard. Yi Rufeng had been apprised by Yi Mai about what had happened during the mission and was therefore aware that Jian Wushuang had saved his daughter's life. Let it go, Jian Wushuang smiled. You saved my daughter's life. I have to thank you, Yi Rufeng said solemnly. I believe in showing gratitude through my actions. You did me a huge favor by saving my daughter's life and I want to repay that debt. When I heard that you needed help, I came here without any hesitation. Ha, thank you so much, Your Excellency Yi, Jian Wushuang said. Don't call me Your Excellency. If you don't mind, call me Brother Yi, said Yi Rufeng. Brother Yi, Jian Wushuang didn't refuse. All right. Let me introduce. Yi Rufeng brought Jian Wushuang before the other experts. This is Xue Mingho, the Golden Dragon Ambassador of the Golden Dragon Palace. Jian Wushuang looked at the well-groomed man whose eyes seemed to possess an unusual magic to make people like him at first sight. Mr. Xue, Jian Wushuang said modestly. Jian Wushuang, the first on the Earthly Dragon list, the recognized first genius in the whole Qianzong dynasty. After the selection battle, people were discussing you everywhere and I have already heard so much about you. Today, I'm finally able to see you in the flesh. Xue Mingho said and laughed. Those are. Yi Rufeng introduced the other powerhouses to Jian Wushuang one by one. Jian Wushuang soon realized something about the experts invited by Palace Master White. 7 experts were invited by Palace Master White. All of them were Golden Dragon ambassadors from the Golden Dragon Palace and had marvelous strength. Among them, 3 were warriors of the profound Yin Void Realm, 2 were warriors of exceptional Yin Void Realm, and 2 were warriors of peak of the Yin Void Realm. Yi Rufeng and Shui Mingho were the 2 warriors of the peak of the Yin Void Realm. Jian Wushuang was delighted when he realized the strength of the 7 experts and felt gratitude towards Palace Master White, who had invited so many strong experts for him. Even though the 9 Emperors sect was the top sect in Qianzhong dynasty, they had 8 warriors of the Yin Void Realm, with only one of them being a peak of the Yin Void Realm. As for battle formation, just Yi Rufeng and the other 6 experts would be enough to suppress the 8 Yin Void Realm experts of the 9 Emperors sect. In addition, there were Jian Wushuang, Yang Zixuan, and Su Ru, all of whom were in the top 10 on the Earthly Dragon list. All 3 possessed great battle strength comparable to the level of profound Yin Void Realm. Furthermore, Jian Wushuang's skills were well matched to those of the warrior of the exceptional Yin Void Realm. It was enough to ruin the 9 Emperors sect with such a battle formation. The only thing they had to be wary of was the experts hidden in the Blood Feather Tower. Gentlemen, I'm sorry that I can't tell you what you are going to do yet. I'll let you have all the details once we get to the destination, said Jian Wushuang. Hearing that, 7 Golden Dragon ambassadors frowned, but they didn't mind. So, let's go. Jian Wushuang, Yang Zixuan, and Su Ru departed the mountain summit on their griffins, while the 7 Golden Dragon messengers walked on air. The group moved directly towards the 9 Ring Mountain where the 9 Emperors sect was located. 9 Ring Mountain was located in the Qiannan province. It was well known that the 9 Ring Mountain was the foundation of the 9 Emperors sect. The 9 Emperors sect was a genuine old sect, which had a very good reputation in Qiannan province. It was said that there were 3 clans and 4 sects, which represented the 7 strongest forces in Qiannan province. And the 9 Emperors sect was one of the 4 sects. 10 dark spots silently floated on the void outside the 9 Ring Mountain, overlooking the old sect which was not far off. That is, the 9 Emperors sect? The invited Golden Dragon ambassadors looked grave. Gentlemen, that's our destination, 9 Emperors sect, Jian Wushuang said in a serious voice. According to reliable news from the Golden Dragon Palace, the man who's imprisoned in the 9 Emperors sect is my father. All 7 Golden Dragon ambassadors looked at Jian Wushuang. I need your help to rescue my father, Jian Wushuang said. There is no doubt that the 9 Emperors sect's strength is very strong. Besides, it has a connection with the Blood Feather Tower. So, some top experts from the Blood Feather Tower may be hidden in the 9 Emperors sect. The Blood Feather Tower? The Golden Dragon ambassadors' expressions changed. They would have been able to manage if it were merely a fight with the 9 Emperors sect. Although the 9 Emperors sect was strong, it's just a first-class sect in the region, and the strongest expert in the sect was just a peak of the Yin Void Realm. However, circumstances would be different if Blood Feather Tower was involved. Blood Feather Tower was the greatest killer organization in the Qianzhong dynasty. The horror that this organization was capable of causing was known to all. Anyone who crossed the Blood Feather Tower would be targeted by the organization and assassinated. Even experts of the Yin-Yang Void Realm could not escape death by Blood Feather Tower's hands. Apart from Yi Rufeng, the Golden Dragon ambassadors looked hesitant. Gentlemen. Jian Wushuang observed their expressions, then said, I know what you are worried about. If you don't want to provoke the Blood Feather Tower, I won't force you to do so. If there's anyone here who wants to quit, you can leave now. Of course, I will be deeply indebted to anyone who stays to help me rescue my father. I will try my best to repay your help in future. Several Golden Dragon ambassadors who had hesitated brightened at Jian Wushuang's words. Earlier, Palace Master White had promised to gift them with items such as elixirs and tomes, in exchange for their help. Although those items were welcome, they would not have insisted on getting those items. But getting the favor of Jian Wushuang was totally different. Chapter 175, 9 Emperors Sect. That's Jian Wushuang, the best and peerless genius on the Earthly Dragon list. If everything went well, he would attain the level of the Yin-Yang Void Realm in future. Once he reached the Yin-Yang Void Realm, he would rank on the Heavenly Dragon list. His future looked promising if he was given more time to improve himself. How precious was the favor of such a peerless genius! It was more valuable than those treasures promised by Palace Master White, at least as far as these Golden Dragon ambassadors were concerned. Wushuang, my friends, you can rest assured that we won't give up now that we're invited here, Shui Mingho said and smiled. In fact, he had hesitated when he first knew that he might have to fight with the Blood Feather Tower. Now, his expression showed that he seemed to have calmed down. Yeah. Now we're here. How could we give up so easily? Though the Blood Feather Tower has incredible skills, we, the Golden Dragon ambassadors, aren't weak either. Other Golden Dragon ambassadors also started to say something. So now, we have to discuss what we should do next, Jian Wushuang said, taking out a datum. This was the most detailed datum about the 9 Emperors sect collected by the Golden Dragon Palace, including the environmental structure of the 9 Emperors sect and the basic information of its powerhouses. After a simple discussion, they made a decision. The upper elder who always practices alone in the 9 Emperors sect is the strongest one among all the elders. Since he seldom goes out, his response would be slower. Let's sneak up on him. We'd better kill 1 or 2 superiors of the Yin Void Realm before they react, Jian Wushuang said. Brother Yi, Mr. Shui, you're the strongest among us. You hide secretly until we complete the sneak attack. Once the upper elder of the 9 Emperors sect shows up, Brother Yi, you stop him. Mr. Shui will continue to hide himself, just in case reinforcements are needed. After all, some experts from the Blood Feather Tower are likely to be hidden here. We have to do something to keep us safe. Got it. The 7 Golden Dragon ambassadors, Yang Zixuan and Su Ru, agreed with him. Once they had decided on the strategy, they took action. The 9 Emperors sect had numerous followers. In the sect, there was boisterous atmosphere everywhere. There was a courtyard near the mountain wall of the 9 Emperors sect, where the perimeter was heavily guarded. Only the leaders from the core of the 9 Emperors sect were qualified to enter this place. At this moment, a young man in an elegant robe was brandishing his long sword at the center of this courtyard. His motions were continuous, causing light to be reflected from the blade and showing immense power. The young man was using the sword essence of Raging Fire. His comprehension of this essence showed that his skill was great enough to challenge the 7th level of Dragon Gate. In addition to his cultivation of spiritual power of the exceptional Gold Core realm, his actual strength was comparable to a powerhouse of the earthly dragon list. Suddenly, that young man struck his sword aggressively towards a wooden stake which had been erected in the yard. Crack! The seemingly sturdy wooden stake disintegrated instantly with wood chips flying in every direction. On seeing the destruction of the wooden stake, the young man looked gloomy. If he had truly mastered that skill, the stake should have been split cleanly into 2 halves instead of disintegrating into wood chips. Obviously, he had a long way to go before truly grasping the skill. Damn it! I've already spent more than half a month on this, but there's no progress. Old geezer, have you been genuinely teaching me, or are you deliberately leading me on? The young man shouted. The so-called geezer was the white-haired man who sat on the stone bench, drinking alone. This white-haired man was not that old in terms of biological age. In fact, he was middle-aged. However, he had messy white hair and a face filled with melancholy, deep wrinkles. Along with the beard he kept, it was easy to mistake him as an old man at first glance. He held the flagon with his right hand, which was covered in calluses. This showed that he had been using the sword for a long time. There was a wooden sword on the stone table in front of him. Hearing what that cold-faced youth said, the white-haired man looked at him with dark eyes and said in an icy voice, "'Cause you are too stupid." Stupid? That cold-faced youth was enraged. He rushed towards the white-haired man and grabbed the flagon from him. Pia! The flagon was thrown to the ground and broke into pieces. The cold-faced young guy pointed to the white-haired man and shouted, "Geezer, remember where you are now. I'm warning you, if you withhold anything when you teach me swordsmanship, you'll never get a good day ever." Though the white-haired man frowned slightly as he heard those words, his eyes maintained their cool gaze. He picked up another flagon with his hand and continued to drink. He was not in the mood to talk to him anymore. The cold youth became angrier and shouted, "You geezer!" At this moment, Chang Feng. Suddenly a voice was heard and then a grey-robed elder walked slowly into the yard. "Father," the cold youth said respectfully. The cold-faced young man was named Ma Changfeng and his father was that grey-robed elder, the 3rd elder of 9 Emperors sect, an expert of the Yin Void realm. Though Ma Qinghai was just at the level of the initial Yin Void realm, his status was highly respected in the Nine Emperors sect. Ma Qinghai looked at his beloved son. What's wrong? He had become a father at an old age, so he spoiled his son and would try to satisfy all his whims. There were few powerhouses who had mastered sword principle in the Nine Emperors sect. But his son loved sword principle, so he had used his status to allow his son to freely enter the courtyard to consult that jailed white-haired man on sword principle problems. Father, I've endeavored to perfect the swordsmanship before, but I couldn't make it. Now, under the teaching of this elder, I've still made no progress, even after half a month. He must be fooling me. Ma Changfeng said gloomily. What? Ma Qinghai looked at that white-haired man. Mr. Jian Nantian, how could this be? I've said it before. The white-haired man said in a deep voice and glanced at Ma Qinghai. I've taught him, but hopelessly, he's too stupid to understand it. Ma Changfeng shouted indignantly, Bastard! Ma Qinghai's face darkened. He said, Jian Nantian, what's your attitude? You just need to do what my son asked you to. You shouldn't complain, or you will suffer from the bone-dissolving powder again.